What's up? Welcome to my channel, Simply Michelle, with yours truly, Michelle here. And so I'm just sitting in my prayer closet on this Christmas Eve, and I just wanted to hop up here and just talk about a few things. So, y'all know it's cold outside. Winter is here now. The new year is going to be approaching soon. And, I was just thinking, it's cuffing season. And, with cuffing season comes those hobos, those hobosexuals that, they've forgotten about you all this time up until now. And so some of them are getting the nerve up to reach out and see how you're doing because they want to come and cuddle. They need a warm place to lay their head for the winter months. Oh my gosh. Cuffing season. So it's cuffing season. Is it toxic? Is cuffing season an opportunity for people to play games, to get their foot in the door, to how does that saying go? I can't think of the saying, but to sell your dream. It's cuffing season, that time to sell your dream. Or how someone comes along and they're all charming, they say all the right words, they know what to say, they know what to do to get you in this feeling, to get you in this way. And next thing you know, they've made themselves comfortable, their boots are at your door. Next thing you know, they grubbing on some home cooked meals, and it seems promising. It seems like, you may actually be getting somewhere with this person, when actually this person is just looking for a temporary place to lay their head. And I feel like it's not even so much as a temporary space for them to lay their head, but just so they can get some. And then as soon as the summer months hit again, spring and summer, and everybody's back outside and dressing in their little shorts and all that stuff, showing their legs, showing some skin, that's when they no longer want to be attached. They don't need a space to lay their head anymore then, because they're out exploring, their options with other people who are potential, cuffing season buddies, if that's a thing. So yeah. For those of you who have ever been a victim of cuffing season, where someone has came in and literally told you everything that you wanted to hear, and you were in a space and in a place where you probably wanted that company yourself, but I feel like this when it comes to stuff like cuffing season. If it goes both ways, then that's okay, because you both know what's happening, what's going on. So it's not like you're being you're being taken advantage of, especially if you want it. Now, if you know that this person has a pattern, or let's say this person has a pattern, or they have a way that they do things, and you have not found the strength to let this person go yet, or if you haven't known this person that long. First of all, if you haven't known the person that long, nobody would be coming up in my space that I have not known that long. Just period. I'm not playing house with you. And I have not known you that long. I don't know anything about you. Like, I'm just not doing it. You do have some people that will do that, though. They will allow people to come into their, in their personal space, in their environment, stuff like that. Nah, I don't roll that way. But you want more from this person. Like, you're expecting more from this person. However, this person has like other intentions, or they have an agenda that you may either one be oblivious to, or you're just not aware of it. Most of the time, it's like intuitively, you know that person has an agenda, or you know that person has intentions to really only come around for like one specific thing. But I feel like sometimes you can be like in a state of wanting someone around, wanting someone around. Maybe you feel like alone. Maybe, the person comes around at a time where like they are feeling some type of void. Especially if like you're feeling lonely or whatever like that. And you allow that person to come in like out of desperation or out of feeling a need for you. Even still, that can still be not a good thing. It's not a good thing, um, because it's keeping a toxic cycle going between you and that person. But let me know your thoughts on that, because this is just the season. This is that time of the year. This is the season where people just, they will start to pop up, and they come in like, hey, what's up, how you doing, how you been, yeah, I miss you, what's been going on with you, how you been, yeah, and they want to give you this little backstory to catch up on everything. And it's not that they come into you with the honest truth. It's like they're giving you bits and pieces, and they're leaving out a whole bunch of important stuff, but they just giving you bits and pieces, okay? Just enough to convince you, or just enough to get you to, consider, allowing them to come in and be, a temporary fixture in your life, while they, take what it is that they want from you, and then once they get it, they're going about their business. So, yeah. I was thinking about it. I was like, cuffing season. It is definitely cuffing season. For me personally, I feel like cuffing season is toxic, because the other person, they don't have any intentions on anything long term. And if you're in a space in your life, you're in a place in your life where you are looking for stability, you're looking for long term, you want someone that you can build with, you want someone that you can grow with, allowing someone like that to come into your personal space, it's not going to do anything but give you delays and setbacks, and it can potentially block you from actually finding that person, or it can block that new person from really coming in your life, and you creating something beautiful with that new person. So it holds you up, it causes delays, and it causes blockages. you know we got to learn how to release and let go of the toxic cycles, and being so quick to give in to temptations, and allowing people to overstep our personal boundaries, because that person doesn't respect you when that happens. A lot of the times, a good huge amount of the time they don't respect you because they feel like they can have their way with you. It's like they know they can have you anytime they get ready. That's the ego, that's the attitude that they take on, and it can turn into aggressiveness. Not just the ego, but it can turn into aggression when you finally get to a place where you're done and you don't want to put up with it. It can turn to, sometimes it can get ugly, and you want to avoid that. Yeah. Another thing I wanted to discuss very quickly is the hobosexuals. I did mention earlier about the hobosexuals, and the hobosexuals. It is very important. So, depending on who is coming at you during cuffing season, that person can also potentially be a hobosexual as well. You have to be careful. Sometimes they can be two different people, because people who, the with the cuffing season thing, it's like you are looking for someone that you can cuddle up with, that you can sleep with, a warm bed to lay at night. They want to get them, a hot meal, get them a hot plate or whatever like that. It's just temporary, right?
No, I'm sick of you, Emmett. You only come over when you want something to eat or you trying to fuck.
And most of the time, people that come over for like cuffing season or whatever, it's not because they don't have their own. It's not because they are not financially stable. It's kind of like they just have an agenda. they just have an agenda, and their intentions for you aren't real. It's like if they upfront with you, that's different. If they're upfront with you and you're okay with that and you're accepting of that, that's different. But if you're expecting more, like I said earlier, then that's not even something I would even entertain. Hobosexuals, however, hobosexuals are looking for one thing and one thing only. They are coming back into your life. They are leading you on, and they are making you think that they want more. That's why I said, the people who, cuffing season category, homosexual category, it can kind of go hand in hand. It doesn't have to, but it can go hand in hand. So the homosexuals, they normally pop out around tax time. They pop out around tax time. They prey on single mothers. Okay? They come out around tax time. They prey on single mothers. They pretend that they want to help you. They pretend that they really want to make things work. They're wearing a mask, and it's like they're showing this side of you, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, they really have changed. Yeah, and they're helping out around the house, and they've been coming home, and they haven't, been out all late and stuff. That's because they waiting on that income tax return, because they want to help you spend your money. They want to help you spend that money. So you got to watch out for the signs. Watch out for the red flags now when these people... The fact that I'm making a video about this, it speaks volumes in today's society, and what you have to be careful for, and what you have to be aware of when you're dealing with people. if these people are popping up out of the woodwork, so you haven't spoken to these people for a while, and or if things went south between you and this person and you ain't heard from them, say they ghosted you or whatever, they dipped out on you, stopped talking to you for something, pay attention to the time frame. January, February, March, and April. That's the whole tax season. Normally the tax season is officially over in the month of April. That's the last month that you have to file your taxes, the month of April. Child, be wary. I did a guided message about this like last year. Sometime last was it last year or was it earlier this year? I think it was earlier this year. And whenever I get a download, whenever I get a spiritual message or a guided message, I will share it. So if I get any more guided messages, I will always share a guided message. I don't care what the content on my channel is, you know. But I had a guided message about that, about men preying on single mothers, trying to come in like as the savior, as the knight in shining armor on the white horse, pretending like they are coming to help and they are coming to assist, and they just want to help you. That's this, that, and the third. Do not take the bait. Do not fall for it. There are men that prey on single mothers, single women, but especially single mothers. Like I said, tax time. These hobosexuals, and their intention is to use you for your funds. That they're going to come in and they're going to say all the right words. They're going to be very charming. And if they work and if they got a little bit of, and this is how some of them will try to convince you. If they got a little bit of change of their own, they might come out of pocket. And so it's real convincing. It's like, oh, okay, he paying for, okay, all right. And then you get your tax money, and then they helping you spend your tax money. They helping you spend your money. And then when all your tax money is gone and the well has ran dry, and when you back to your normal when you back to your normal, what's the word I'm looking for, when you are back to your normal income level, like after the tax money is all gone, that's when they gone. That's when they gone. Watch out for people like that. People do it. It is a real thing. It is a very real thing. Men come in around tax time, and men do it way more than women do it. And the reason why is because a lot of time these men out here ain't letting no woman just pop back up out of the blue. Sometimes, men can be, a fool, and but ain't no woman, getting over on no man that easy unless she but most of the time you have a lot of men that will do that to them. Like I say, they will prey on a certain type of woman, and they will sound really convincing. And the woman may be, like I mentioned before, in a state of vulnerability, feeling lonely, wanting some company, wanting, a void to be filled, wanting to feel like somebody really does want you, you know. And that's where they come in, and that's where they strike. I had actually made like a little list um for hobosexuals. I'm not gonna share that on this video. I was gonna share it. I'm not gonna share it on this one. I'm gonna make a separate video and share it. But I just wanted to basically just get up here and show my face, because I don't really show my face on my YouTube channel. Once in a while, I will show my face. I'm going to try to be more consistent with showing my face, but a lot of the times it just depends on how I'm feeling. If I don't feel like showing my face, I just don't. I don't mind showing my face. I don't have a problem showing my face, but it's, sometimes I just don't. So I don't, you know, um, I don't always feel the need to, but there's definitely videos on my channel where I have, showed my face, and there are videos on my channel where you don't see my face. It just, like I said, it just depends on how I'm feeling. But for those of you who have subscribed to my YouTube channel so far, I greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it so much. Thank you very much. Um, you know, it gives me that motivation that I need to keep pushing and to keep going with my content, improving my content, improving the quality of my content. And it's just like the vision that I have for, my channel, and, what I'm trying to like manifest, my mission, the goal. Um, So yeah, and I pray that, more people will vibe with my content, and, y'all will like these videos, and y'all will subscribe to these videos. It is greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. Most definitely, most definitely. But it's just motivation to keep going. Like, I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop. Um, but yeah, I wanted to hop on here and show my face. It's Christmas Eve, and I just wanted to talk about cuffing season and these hobosexuals that's gonna be popping up real soon around tax time. And watch out too for the ones who show up around cuffing season and they stay all the way until tax time. Sometimes that's how they do it too. That's why you got to be careful, because sometimes they'll come in around cuffing season, and see, that's what gets you, right? That's what make you think that they serious, and that they actually want to take things to the next level, because they real dedicated. They are real dedicated, and they are real committed to getting what they want. And then after they get what they want, they go MIA, they go ghost. um, and I want to hear from the viewers, and the subscribers. Have any of you ever dealt with a situation like that? If so, how did you handle it? Was it a toxic cycle that you ended up getting into because you really did think that the person had good intentions, and, they came in, they were able to get you hooked off of some words, off of, sex, and it's kind of like you took the bait and you got in your feelings and stuff about it, because that happens as well. That also happens. And then they just go ghost. They go MIA, they go ghost. Crazy work, crazy work. I'm telling you, you got to be careful. You cannot let people come in with this smooth talking and this charming and, selling you a dream and whispering all these sweet nothings in your ear. Like, you gotta, you know, going into 2026, we're not doing that no more. We not playing boo boo the fool no more. Okay, we doing better because we know better. Okay, we're not we calling people out on their mess. We not allowing people to just play in our face like that, and all because we felt lonely, all because we wanted to feel loved and needed, all because we was jonesing for some. No, we not doing that. We not doing that. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. Cuffing season and these hobosexuals. All right. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions on this, and if you have ever been in a similar situation. And like I said before, like, how did you handle it? What ended up happening? Like, what ended up coming out of the situation? Did the cuffing season actually turn into a long-term relationship, or did the person, come around? They sold your dream right quick, had you hooked, and then they went on about their business. Did they stay long enough to help you spend your tax return until, you spent up all your money? Drop down in the comments and let me know what lessons you have learned in regards to this. Um, yeah. But I do hope that everyone has a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I hope that everyone stays safe out there, stay warm, be blessed. Make sure you keep your eyes peeled for the red flags, people trying to get all up in your personal space, you know, doing all that sweet talking like they got it together and they really do not. I have more content coming that I am working on, so stay tuned for that. And if you vibe with my content, I do pray that you would decide to stay and become a part of the tribe. And you can do that by subscribing to the channel, Simply Michelle, and giving my videos like a thumbs up. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. Okay, I got cooking that I actually have to do, and I've just been in here chilling and relaxing. So that's what it is, you all. And until next time, everyone stay safe, be blessed, take care. Bye.